Hello everyone. I hope you have liked the first online lecture that was conducted on female reproductive system and posted 2 to 3 days back. Now I will be conducting today the menstrual cycle, which is the second lecture in this series, which we have named as Lockdown Learning Lecture Series. So let us start with that. So first we'll define the menstrual cycle. This cycle consists of a series of changes taking place concurrently in the ovaries and uterine walls, stimulated by changes in the blood concentrations of various hormones. So this is actually a cycle that is repeated every month in the uterus and the ovaries, and that is influenced by majorly the gonadal hormones, which are we will be discussing later. This is a series of events occurring regularly in females every 26 to 30 days throughout the childbearing period of about 36 years. So approximately 12th year of age of female, which is marked by menarche, where menstrual cycle starts, and it may last up to 55 or around 50 years. So totally the period is called a childbearing period or fertile period. This is around 36 years. The end of menstrual cycle is called, or the end of fertility period is called as menopause, after which the female does not have the menstrual cycle. Now let us start discussing what actually happens during one menstrual cycle. So menstrual cycle involves events in two organs, namely ovaries and uterus, as we have seen just now. And these changes are brought about by four hormones named as follicle stimulating hormone, which is secreted by anterior pituitary gland; luteinizing hormone, again it is secreted by anterior pituitary gland; estrogen, which is secreted by ovaries, follicles to be more precise; and progesterone, which is again secreted by ovaries, corpus luteum to be more precise. Now let us first discuss the changes that take place during in the ovaries during a menstrual cycle. The changes in the ovaries start to take place after the release of follicle stimulating hormone by anterior pituitary. Here starts development of 2 to 4 ovarian follicles, one of which eventually leads to formation of ovum. Other three degenerate. This development period takes around 12 days, and at the end of around 13th day there is one ovum fully developed and it is ready for fertilization. During this development, these follicles release a hormone called estrogen, which has its effect in the second organ, that is uterus. म्हणजे इथं फॉलिकल्स कडून इस्ट्रोजन डेव्हलप होणार आहे आणि त्याचं सायमल्टेनियस इफेक्ट होत जाणार आहे युटेरस मध्ये. काय चेंजेस होणार आहेत ते आपण नंतर डिस्कस करणार आहोत. अराउंड 14th डे देर इज सडन डिक्रीज in level of follicle stimulating hormone and increase in levels of luteinizing hormone. That means in the first half of the ovaries there is more prevalence of follicle stimulating hormone, which stimulates follicle to release estrogen and simultaneously to get developed into ovum, and in the second half there is lesser amount of FSH while more amount of luteinizing hormone is released. Due to this decrease in FSH level in second half, there is no further stimulation of any follicle turning into ovum. म्हणजे दुसरं कुठलंही follicle ovum मध्ये develop होत नाही. While luteinizing hormone brings about the release of ovum from the ovary. Now whatever one ovum that has developed in the first half of the menstrual cycle in the ovary is released in the peritoneal cavity. The part from where this ovum is released develops into corpus luteum. Now I am discussing ovary. From where ovum is released, that parts develop into corpus luteum. This corpus luteum starts secreting progesterone, second female hormone. Now this progesterone will be bringing about the changes in the uterus that make uterus more favorable for fertilization. Now ovum is released, and in the second half there are two chances: either ovum is not fertilized or the ovum is fertilized. Depending on, if ovum is not fertilized, what happens? Let us first discuss. If ovum is not fertilized, the corpus luteum degenerates to form corpus albicans. That means the source of progesterone, that is corpus luteum, is now not available. Therefore there is no formation of no further growth of endometrium, and whatever endometrium has been formed, which will eventually develop into which will eventually shed off. If ovum is fertilized, now this, let us think on the second possibility. If ovum is fertilized, zygote will be formed. This zygote will secrete a hormone called HCG, that is human choriogonadotropic hormone. This HCG will keep the corpus luteum intact throughout the pregnancy period, which is generally called gestation period. That means zygote, if fertilization has taken place, zygote will be formed, and that will secrete HCG that will not allow the corpus luteum to degenerate into corpus albicans. That will ensure the continuous supply of progesterone, and that will ensure the continuous growth of the endometrium. So here you can see from the day 1, you can find here 2 to 3 ovarian follicles start developing. They eventually grow, and around 12th day one of the follicles develop into ovum. Now on the 14th day, due to release of luteinizing hormone, sudden upsurge of luteinizing hormone, the ovum is released. The part from where the ovum is released gets developed into corpus luteum. Here is fully formed corpus luteum, which starts releasing the progesterone. Now if fertilization has not taken place, this corpus luteum will develop into corpus albicans. Okay, now we'll see what changes that are taking place in the uterus. Now here one thing we must keep in our mind, that the changes in the uterus are dependent on two hormones that are secreted by uterus. Those are estrogen and progesterone. First half of the menstrual cycle is dependent on the estrogen, while the second half is dependent on the progesterone. Now during menstrual phase, the endometrium developed during earlier cycle is shed off. The endometrial tissue, blood vessels, etc. constitute the menstrual flow. These things are shed off and removed out of the uterus, which is generally called as menstrual flow. Estrogen released by the ovaries starts developing the endometrium, preparing it for the attachment of new fertilized ovum. This phase continues till 14th day and marked by ovulation. This is called as the proliferative phase, because here proliferation of endometrium takes place. In the first phase, the endometrium proliferates, and it is under the influence of estrogen released by the follicles in the ovaries. After ovulation has taken place, that is the release of ovum from the ovary, second phase starts, that is secretory phase. This phase takes place under the influence of, as we just discussed, the progesterone, which is secreted by corpus luteum from the ovaries. In this phase, the uterus is made more favorable for fertilization of the ovum that has been released. म्हणजे जे ओम रिलीज झालेलं आहे त्याचं फर्टिलायझेशन व्हावं आणि ते होण्यासाठी सुटेबल एन्व्हायरमेंट, फेवरेबल एन्व्हायरमेंट युटेरसमध्ये तयार व्हावं अशा पद्धतीनं युटेरसमध्ये काही चेंजेस होतात. दीज चेंजेस इन्क्लूड वॉटरी म्युकस. वॉट एव्हर द म्युकस इज बीइंग सिक्रेटेड इन द uterus becomes watery. That means thin. It is not thick. It becomes less viscous so that passage of sperms is eased. If coitus or sexual intercourse takes place, it should be easy for sperm. That is the intention behind making the mucus watery. Second change that takes place is thickening of the tissue. Tissue is thickened so that whatever, if at all the ovum is fertilized and zygote is formed, that it gets embedded in the endometrial wall. Similar changes take place in the uterine tubes. The watery mucus is secreted in the uterine tubes as well as in the cervical glands that lubricate the vagina. Now again, as we discussed earlier, if ovum is not fertilized, the corpus luteum degenerates into corpus albicans and no progesterone is available now and endometrium is shed off. If ovum is fertilized, zygote will be formed that will secrete HCG, and this HCG will maintain corpus luteum throughout the gestation period. This progesterone secreted by corpus luteum will maintain the growth of endometrium throughout the gestation period. Now here you can see, so this is the basal layer. As we discussed in the earlier lecture, there are two layers in the endometrium, the basal layer and functional layer. You can find here the basal layer is continuous throughout the menstrual cycle. However, you can observe the changes in the functional layer. We'll start here. The proliferative days, day 6 to day 14. In this, functional endometrium starts growing and its thickness is increased after ovulation has taken place. Now you can find it here. There is more prevalence of estrogen in the first half, which later decreases, and in the second half is taken over by progesterone, where you can find the thickening of functional layer of endometrium takes place in the secretory phase. And I will simultaneously discuss what are the changes that are taking place in the proliferative phase. In the ovaries, ovarian follicles start developing into ovum. At the same time, in the uterus, endometrium is growing. This growth is influenced by the estrogen released by this ovarian follicles. Ovulation takes place in the second phase. Some books consider ovulation as a separate phase, or some books don't consider it as a separate phase. Ovulation is related to ovaries, that is release of ovum. There is no much changes in the uterus. During the secretory phase, corpus luteum develops in the ovaries and it starts secreting progesterone, and simultaneously, due to that progesterone, the tissue in the uterus thickens and the mucus becomes watery. Now there are two possibilities. The next phase is either menstrual phase, or if fertilization has taken place, there will not be menstrual phase, there will be a pregnancy. So if menstrual phase has taken, corpus albicans will be formed. If pregnancy takes place, corpus luteum is maintained, endometrium is shed off, the pregnancy is continued. So thank you for this. Kindly convey your feedback regarding this in the personal chat of my WhatsApp. I am expecting it. Thank you very much.